I'm Brittany.
I'm Nicole.
And we're those girls. Welcome to episode 24 of our podcast. Today, we're just hanging out.
It's been a little bit.
I know. We've been so busy. Happy summer.
Happy summer. It's finally here.
It's finally here. So last week, all three of us, Al included, got to hang out and do Braintree Day. That was fun.
Yep.
That was 13 hours of fun.
Yeah. To give a little background, I have an event planner that I've worked with since, I just said 2015.
Mm-hmm.
It's an event we do every year. Me and her planned it, and we roped Brittany and Alan for different things, and it was a great fun day. It's a long day.
Only 2 catastrophes.
Yeah.
Not even catastrophes, but we only had one vendor that was unhappy, and because we had to move her to a new location.
Yeah,
and
that
then
happens.
You fell out of the golf cart.
I did fall off a golf cart in the last 10 minutes of the event.
Yes.
Also.
So,
So the golf carts that have like the loading things in the back, it's not seats. It has like a trailer that can dump out.
which were interesting because I hadn't seen those. Like, I have a lot of experience with golf carts over the years, and I had never seen one that had a loading.
Yeah, so we always get those so we can put stuff in them.
Yeah.
But we had 3 of us, so I was sitting in the back. And I tried the other ones, and they didn't just like give out like that. But anyway,
well, you'd been sitting in it all day.
Yeah, but so then the last 10 minutes of the event, we were going back into the place to park them, to put them away, and the trailer hitch let out, and I ate shit in the middle of 10,000 people. Rolled everything. It was bad. People were like,
and I was
hate
driving
when stuff like that
didn't
happens.
catch it right
So,
away.
yeah,
So then I felt even worse because I drove another like 25 feet without
her
knowing.
and the other girl, Rachel, that we work with, neither of them noticed that I fell out. So I'm just on the ground. So when those situations, especially if I'm hurt, I will not let on at all. And I just want to like get out of the situation. I don't want to be asked if I'm okay. I don't want you to pick me up. So like my goal was like, I was just like trying to get out of it because people saw it and they were like, oh my God, are you okay? And trying to like help me. I'm like, get off me. I'm fine.
So, I just remembered you got hurt coming in here. It's been a week. So, hope your ankle's okay.
Yeah. So we've been doing that event for 7 years also. And I thought it was like super encouraging. That was the most people we have had come out since COVID.
Yeah.
I think it was like over 10,000 easily.
Easily.
For the last like 2 years, it was like people came, but they didn't really like spend money. We didn't have, so like this was like a super positive event. I feel like to see that like the community's finally doing better.
Right.
The food truck lines were long. All the, the things were packed. It was great. It was really good to see.
It was super cool. So it was my first year hanging out and helping, and I really enjoyed it. I think, you and I do a lot of local events together.
Yep.
Different from that event. And I feel like that was the smoothest event that we have done together.
And the largest. Massive.
Hours long. I think we were there like 13, 14 hours. For me, though, it was great up until like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I don't like crowds of people, and like I was getting claustrophobic. So like, but everyone was nice. Except for teenagers. Teenagers are a whole different can of worms.
I got called like a lot of bad names in that golf cart like 3 times. And the last time Rachel was like, we're almost leaving. Please don't say anything. Like I can't take this anymore.
I don't understand. Maybe we were that bad as teenagers, or like our generation was.
We sound so old right now.
I was gonna say maybe we're just old now, but like.
No, I would have never like looked a grown up in the face that was driving a golf cart and been like, you're a blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
But other than that, almost had, the last thing, the funny part, it was kind of funny, but kind of scary. We had inflatables.
Yes.
And kids were acting nuts. We used the word feral. They were
feral.
Just
kids were feral.
Feral children.
Feral. But they all had a good time.
Yeah, everyone had a good time.
They all had a great time, and looking forward to next year. Super excited. But we'll jump on that bandwagon next January, February. We need a break.
We need a break. So Brittany's got something new for us.
It's been a really interesting last couple weeks in real estate. And so backtrack just a little bit. There's a couple lawsuits going on the national level. There's a class action lawsuit around how buyers agents get paid. And I've been following it for a really, really long time. And it's still, we don't know how that's going to end up or how the market's going to change. But it's really kind of put some of us as brokers or agents little uneasy because we just don't know. So right now, the way that traditionally buyers agents are paid is from a seller's agent. And that seller's agent really contracts with a seller, and they negotiate those payments up front. And so we've been following it, we've been watching it, and we've been kind of sitting back going, okay, how do we change? Because something's going to happen. A ruling is going to come down at some point, and it's going to change the way that someone gets paid.
Can we back up 1 second? Just because this is something I didn't really
Right.
know. And sometimes when you're talking your language. So explain to like how those commissions get split up. Because like people probably don't know when you sell,
Right.
there's a commission amount and then it gets split up?
It gets split. So like if I'm going to go to you and I'm going to say, hey, let me come over and sell you, or you call me, Nicole calls and says, hey, I want to sell my house. I go over and I tell you, okay, my fee is X. That fee 90% of the time is the fee for my service and also a buyer's agent, whoever brings a buyer in. And so there are people that don't want that anymore. There are people that say as a seller that they shouldn't have to be responsible for someone else's
Right.
paycheck.
So the seller is paying the buyer and the selling agent.
The selling agent.
The seller's paying the buyer and the seller.
Right.
Okay, cool.
And so the lawsuit that's been out has been against the National Association of Realtors, which we're not a part of. Our particular company isn't. And a couple big conglomerates. And that lawsuit is based out of like Minnesota. So not anywhere near us. It will have a direct impact on us whenever the case is settled or if they come to a judgment. But the other day, this is where it really hit home. We belong to a particular service of where we put our listings in, and that's what syndicates out to Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, all of those. If you're looking for homes online, they come from a local source. Our local source, it is said that they just settled a lawsuit pertaining to the lawsuit that's at the national level. And so we don't know the final settlement of it. There's big money that has come out. But it will have an impact on how we locally will be paying other agents. And so I know from our real estate side, it impacts what we offer out and who's going to come and see the house. On your end as a loan officer, it has a big implication of how buyers are now going to be responsible for potentially paying their agent to show them houses. So it's really, really important, I think, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, that we start having conversations around what the change looks like in the future, whether it is just change at our local level or it's something that nationally changes across the board, because it's only a matter of time. So right now, you have a seller's agent, you have a buyer's agent, and then you have a facilitator. At least in Mass, that's how it works. And so it could have big implications of who can afford to buy or who goes and looks at houses.
Well, yeah, because in my mind, as a loan officer, that's mini heart attack, because like it's already hard enough for people right now to come up with down payment and closing costs, and then to have like an extra,
right,
however much the fee would be. I don't know how they would decide that. Would it have to be like across the board? A percentage of the purchase amount? Or,
we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. So there is no set standard commission within the industry. Like I can't say that I can say, let me backtrack. I can say I charge this. I can't say that the industry charges X.
Right.
Because
there's no standard.
There's no standard.
There's no set thing.
There's no set thing that's like if you go to Stop and Shop, which is a local grocery store here. If you go to the Stop and Shop here in Bridgewater, milk's going to be $3.29 a gallon or whatever it is with inflation now. It's going to be the same price pretty much if you go to Stop and Shop the next town over.
Yeah.
It's not that way in our industry. So it's hard to say if that will change and there will be a percentage due, if it, goes into if a buyer is going to have to pay out of pocket up front. We don't know that. I just saw something interesting on the topic, not locally, but nationally, and you might be able to talk to this, is that how does a VA buyer going to buy? If they can't put funds into a transaction.
Yeah, there's like a lot of rules for VA, like how much they can contribute. They can't be charged more than 1 point for their rate. There's so many rules for VA to protect them, so they're putting in the least amount of money possible, as they should.
Right.
But this would definitely they would have to change, like, a lot.
There's a
They would
lot
have to be so much.
Right. There's a lot of
Yeah.
impact that it has. So it'll be really interesting to see, you know, what happens with the final settlement that comes out in our area, but then also what happens at the national level. I know that the original lawsuit was filed in 2020.
So it's been going,
It's
yeah.
been ongoing, but they just, and I don't know how this works. I'm not a lawyer. I know nothing about this, but it was upgraded to a class action lawsuit. So I don't know what that means, but I would assume that there would have to be some sort of resolution within a certain time frame,
Oh, okay.
or maybe it's sped up.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully, I don't know, by the end of the year or into next year, you know, we'll have some resolution to it, but it'll definitely impact our jobs.
So if I'm understanding it right, this is how because I'm contrary to popular belief, we don't fully understand what each other does at all.
Right, exactly.
Like, your parts of real estate are foreign to me, and as my parts are foreign to you.
Very
so
foreign.
Like, as I understand it, it would be a buyer would have to make a choice then. Do I want to pay an agent extra to be just my agent?
Yeah.
Or they could use the seller's agent, could facilitate the whole thing.
In theory, yeah.
But would the seller and agent have to charge the buyer? Or would it just be?
Those are all unknown questions.
Yeah. So this ties in a little bit to what we've been talking about. Like, a lot of my deals right now are people are trying to surpass paying agents. I have a couple family sales, for sale by owners, but it's like, you know, a landlord selling his property, so the renter's going to buy it, things like that. And they're trying to cut out the real estate agents to save on fees, but it literally makes my job so much harder. So anyone who says that you guys don't do anything, I have firsthand the past 3 weeks, tooth and nail, clawed through things I don't understand that now I have to facilitate.
Right.
That are not part of my regular gig. So it's like,
right.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that begs the question, you know, as the industry changes, do we change the way that we give services? You know, I know for our company, we just rolled out today. Actually,
I was hoping you were going to talk about it because I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud
it's a big
of it,
deal.
But it's really scary.
It is scary, but
you know,
you
try really hard to do what you feel is the right thing, and you try to, you know, help as many people as possible, and you don't know what that public reaction is going to be. So even before this whole thing became really important and really in our backyard, because that really just happened this week, we were trying to find ways to help people that might not necessarily want that full service. You know, you talked about dealing with a couple people that are buying from family, or they're buying from friends, or they're buying, you know, for sale by owner. And we have a couple of those transactions that they decided to do that after working with both of us this year. And so
there's like nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do about it. And you know, because real estate agents and loan officers, we're not all one and the same. There is no standard within our industry. You know, I feel like we have to be able to give to the masses, but also to be able to service those people that might not necessarily need all of our help because they've already found the house, or they have a connection, or they know a little bit about the process because they've bought or sold before. So we just rolled out an a la carte service.
Yay!
So super excited about that. We don't know what the market's the reaction's gonna be. So super excited, and we'll be able to kind of, you know, test that market and then kind of be able to tell everyone what the result is as we kind of go through twofold with what's going on the national level. So
and I'm just going to like brag about you like a little bit, because you have come up with this entire idea on your own. You redid your website entirely by yourself without a web designer.
I am not a web designer, and the website is pretty kick-ass.
It's awesome. And I just think that you have had like a lot of anxiety and fears about it, but the best things come out of things that are scary.
Right.
And people are probably going to kick and scream a little bit in your side of the industry about like, oh, you're screwing everyone else over. But like, you have to pivot when things change. Like, I've gone through this even in my short career of being an LO. Like, you know, in the company I was in before, my marketing mind is very different than like a traditional person in my side of the business. And I was like, I'm going to do events, and I'm going to do social media, and I'm going to do little videos, and I'm going to be so cute. And they were all like, what are you doing? They didn't get it.
Right.
And like, then slowly they started to get it when they saw like, oh, you're like reaching like a lot of
Right.
people you would not be touching.
And I think that there's something, that is going to be a really hard message for me to get across is that I'm not trying to change who we're servicing. I'm trying to add a layer of service to others that might not necessarily want, because we still have our first. Listen, my team goes above and beyond when we do full service tenfold.
Yeah, but it's making you not be able to lose those clients that don't want the full service.
Right.
And they're just going to, they're honestly just going to mess it up.
Like, not necessarily mess it up,
but it's much more difficult.
They're doing it with, our industry as a whole. It's one thing I can say is pretty much as a whole, whether you're in the mortgage industry, you're in the real estate industry of selling and buying homes, is that every single person knows another real estate agent or a loan officer, and every single person has a not great experience with one of those two. And so
we just love to scoop those people up.
But not only that, but it's also to educate people.
No, and I'm saying that in a funny, cute way. But
like, oh yeah, of course. I'll handhold you all day long.
Yeah, but when you get those people, you realize how it's hard. I don't know. Sometimes when you get somebody who's had a bad experience, you're like, wow, that stinks, because now your view of what we do is tarnished.
Right.
And let me fix it. But now I have to work double, triple.
Twice as hard.
I really got to kick some.
Overcome, ideas that it wasn't our mess up. Yeah. I mess up daily. I make mistakes daily. But when you have to go in and you have to correct someone else's ideologies of something because they've experienced something, you're already set behind the curve. And so it's really hard. So being able to empower not only my agents to go out and help a bigger conglomerate of people, I know that's not the right word, but a bigger amount of people, but also to empower the people that otherwise would be doing it by themselves and still forming those ideas of how the industry could be, is really exciting for me, because
you just have to evolve, and people get really stuck that have probably, and I get it, been in the industry a very long time and done things the same way and it's worked.
Hey,
but I will say everything has to evolve.
Personal experience. We bought a house last September. I've been doing this for a freaking long time, and I am still kicking myself because when an architect and a real estate agent buy a house,
how do they buy a lemon is my question.
Our lemonade stand is coming along.
It's so great.
Coming along.
It's beautiful.
But, and we're experienced. So if we're having this experience, how are people that don't do this every day, going through the process? So super excited to get that rolling out. We have some other things coming towards the end of the year.
Should we talk about the spa a little bit?
Now.
Okay, we can cut this out. It's so good.
It's good, but it's not.
I won't say the name.
Okay, so.
You want me to tell it?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to tell it.
We're going to cut it out, but.
No, you don't cut out my things.
This will be fun for Al. Yep, we got it.
All right.
I'm watching.
It'll be real quick.
Yep.
So we had a girls' day. We went to a spa. We won't say the name of the spa.
We were super excited because it is not a traditional spa that is around here. We had to drive a little bit.
New spa, new experience. So I go in for my massage. Brittany goes in for her massage after. She comes out. She goes, "Did you get offered like anything extra?" And I go, "No. Should I be insulted?" She goes, "Well,
first of all, before we even get to that part, okay? You and Bethany, because we're throwing Bethany in here, we go and they have a special they're running, and the special is you get into the facility and then you get a massage for a certain amount of money, and it is a particular massage, and it is a Swedish massage. Okay, I traditionally go for deep tissue massages. That is my traditional thing. So coming out of the massage and explaining what I had been, I think, offered. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to. But then finding out that you guys never left your stomachs.
So all right, we'll back up. So Brittany saw this other girl come out of the room ahead of her, the room she's supposed to go in, and she was like really disheveled and looked upset and like was like
not come out relaxed from
was not happy. She was rushing out of the room, and then the masseuse followed her and was like, "Make sure she tips now. Make sure she tips now." So Brittany's like, "That's weird because you're supposed to tip at the end when you leave."
This whole spa is you pay for everything when you leave.
Yes. So then she goes in.
Well, no, you come out and you're like, "The woman broke me. It was the best massage I've ever had. You need my girl." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I want that girl." I'm so excited. I didn't get
Didn't get that girl.
I got the girl who was yelling at the other girl who was very disheveled to go tip and very confused.
So when I went in for my massage, I was laying on my back and she said, oh no, you're going to be on your stomach the whole time. Not a
You
front.
always start on your stomach.
I know, but it's just how I lay down. I don't know why. She said, nope, it's all on your stomach. You're not flipping over. This one goes in. She flips her to her back immediately.
No, not immediately. No, I'm on my back.
Oh, okay. You started on
and
your back.
She gets on the table immediately. Like,
and then
did the whole massage. What I think
this is what happened.
And it felt good. Fine, whatever. And because I'm used to traditional like deep tissue massages, like I know they do like one part, then they do the other part, and then they flip you over. And okay. So she goes to finish with one and she mumbles something. And I don't think it's in English, but that's a whole nother conversation. And I ignore her. And then she, like, 30 seconds later, she's like, are you sure no contact? And I'm like, I ignore her again. Because I don't know. First of all, like, I'm half asleep. I'm relaxed. It wasn't until she told me to flip over that I went, oh my God, the poor girl behind. But they went in before me. We think
that the girl before her said yes to contact, not knowing what she meant, and got something she did not want.
Did not expect.
So that was our relaxing day after Brain Tree Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I will be going back for all of the other
We're
amenities,
still going back,
but not going to be using that masseuse
or just that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a week.
It's been a week.
It has been a week.
That's
on
it?
that note,
yeah, I could not tell that story.
I know. So one more thing,
because we went super serious. We needed a little.
We did. We needed a little. One more thing. It is 95 degrees here. It is hot as hell. And you'll get a kick out of this. I'm driving down the road to come here, and there is a minivan with both doors open on the side going down the road. They must not have AC. So I thought that was, an interesting little caveat to driving down Route 18.
Was there people in the back?
I didn't see because I was going 52 and a 40 and they went by really fast. So they
had to get the breeze going.
I don't know if there were children in there.
Bad day to have broken AC.
Exactly. So on that note, thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next week.
Over and out.
Bye.
Bye.